Hi, this is Laura Solomon from OPLIN, and in this particular video, I'm going to be showing you the new Sitewide Alerts feature that will be replacing the old emergency message feature. When it's installed, you'll be going to the Content button, and you'll notice that there's a new option now called Sitewide Alerts. We're going to go ahead and click that, and this is what you'll see. Now, right now in this sample site, there are no site-wide alerts, but if you have any, whether they are active or not, they will appear in this list. Let's go ahead and add a new one. We're going to go ahead and click the blue Add New Site-Wide Alert button. And this is the name feature, which only shows up for you as the administrator, so call it something that you'll understand. So we can say, let's say closed 6:14 due to a power outage, so that we can easily identify which alert this is. And then you can give it a style. There are currently two different styles that you can give it. The default is a light blue background and is generally recommended for use for things that are not urgent. The other style is red, which is reminiscent of the original emergency message feature where it is red and a red background with white text. Let's go ahead first and create one with the default light blue style. Then we have the alert message. Now you'll notice that this is different from the emergency message in that with the emergency message you had a 60-character limit and you did not have all of these options. We strongly recommend that you still keep your message very brief and you be very careful about including any of these kinds of styling options. Because, as you'll see, this appears at the very top of your site, and the bigger it is, the more it's going to detract from the existing content on your site. An emergency message or a site-wide alert should not take up the majority of your site, of course. Let's go ahead and put in our message. The library will be closed today due to a power outage. And of course, we could put something else in here. We could also include a link here as well, just like you would when using this editor anywhere else in your website. So this could be a link to more information. And we could highlight that and create a link if you'd like to. We're not going to go do that right at the moment. Let's go ahead actually and get rid of that. And I'm going to go ahead and center this as well. There we go. And so this is actually probably an urgent message now that I think about it. So we'll go ahead and do a red one first. We'll change the alert style to red. We'll come back and we'll do another blue one so that you can see what that looks like. Because as you'll see, you'll be able to include different alerts of different styles at different times on different pages. There's actually a lot of different ways that you can control when and where these appear. So we're going to come back and do another one. So let's do this one, which is actually urgent when we say the library is closed. We're going to go ahead and scroll down. And then we have a couple options here underneath. You're going to leave the text format as you always do at full HTML. And then there's this checkbox, Dismissible. This is very important that you actually always click this, Dismissible, because people get very irate when they can't get rid of these messages. Do not force these to be shown regardless of the wishes of the user. That's very poor practice. So we're always going to make it dismissible. And as you can see in the text underneath that checkbox and label, it says, if selected, visitors will be able to dismiss the alert so it will not be seen again. You do not want this to pop up over and over. So make this dismissible. You also have the ability to schedule the alert. So you can schedule it to start and stop at a particular date or time. Now, something urgent like the library is going to be closed during a power outage probably is not a case where you're going to use this feature, but perhaps you have sign up for summer reading begins at a certain day or time and ends at a certain day or time. You can go ahead and schedule this alert just like you do other events with the same kind of feature here. I'm going to go ahead and undo that though. I just want to show you that that's available. Now, one of the really nice features about these alerts is that you can limit by page. So if For this particular alert, we're not actually going to limit it by the page because we want, regardless of where a user comes into the library site, which is not always the home page, we want them to see this message. It's pretty important. But for some messages, you may want a message only on that particular page, and you can limit that. And when we do the next style, I'll show you how that can be done. The authoring information, we're not going to change. You typically don't when working with most content. You can use revisions with site-wide alerts if you choose to. There's a separate video on using the revision feature in our YouTube channel if you're interested in learning about that if you haven't already. This last checkbox here, active, notice it says underneath, if selected, the site-wide alert will be active and will show if all other conditions are met. So when we talk about conditions, what we have not limited by page, that's it. We haven't scheduled it. So there's not really, in this case, there really aren't any conditions like we'll show on the next one. So, but what this means is that you can deactivate something, and still leave it in your list of alerts. So you don't have to delete something. You can actually use it again later if you choose. Of course, I want to show you what this looks like, so I'm going to leave it checked as active, and I'm going to go ahead and click Save. There we go. And now we don't see it because right now we're in, of course, the administrative part of the site, not the public part of the site. But you can see that now we have an alert here in our list, and we know that it's a red style alert and it's active and it isn't scheduled. So it gives us all of that information right up front. Now let's go see what that looks like by going back to site. And there you can see that the library will be closed today due to a power outage. And notice how it appears across the full width of the site. Notice also that it has an X here where people can get rid of this, and that's what we want. That's what dismissible means. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And what that means is as long as I'm using this browser, I won't see that message again. So let's go now and create one that is in the default or light blue style for those messages that aren't quite so urgent. And let's make it so that it only is going to appear on the About Us page. Let's just move over there. So there's no content here on the sample site. But let's say we want something to only show up at the top of this page and it's not urgent. We're going to make it light blue. So we're going to go back to Content, go to Site-Wide Alerts. And now we're going to add another site-wide alert, and I'm not sure what this would be. Let's just say summer reading begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. And we're going to choose the default style. And I'm going to go ahead and steal this text again. Okay. And so now I'm going to go ahead and center that also, and maybe just to make it more interesting, I'm going to make it bold. And now I'm going to scroll down here again. We're always going to make it dismissible. I could schedule this alert, of course, with something like this where we're saying summer reading begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. We might want to schedule that start now and maybe turn off tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We could do that. I'm not going to though. But what I am going to do here is I'm going to limit by page. So I'm going to click that checkbox. And then I'm going to put in the paths. Now, here's a little trick. If you ever want something just to show up on the home page, actually it's a little different here. So on the home page, this is the home page, just that /. In fact, I think it says that down here, and it's one path per line. But in this case, we want about. I believe that's the correct path. If it isn't, we're going to find out real soon. So you need, this is a relative URL, okay? You don't want the full path that includes https:// so forth and so on. And if you're not sure how to use these, please feel free to contact me, but you've probably had to use these in other places in your site already. Another option that's here is to negate for the listed pages. So what that means is by default, when we're limiting by page, I'm just putting in the pages I want for this site-wide alert to show up on. But what if I want it to show up on every page except the About page? I can do that by turning on the negate feature. Because then what that says is, okay, show it on every page except the ones that I've listed. We don't want to do that. We're going to turn that off. So now we're going to go ahead, go down here. We're going to leave it active. We're going to click Save. And you can see there now we have two different site-wide alerts. Both are active. One's in the red style, one's in the default. And let's go back to the site. And you can see that that one was not centered. You don't have to, but you probably will want to. This is a default one where you have blue text on dark blue text on a light blue background. Again, you can see that it's dismissible, and we can get rid of it. And if we want to see what's already available as far as site-wide alerts, we just go back to Content, Site-wide Alerts, and you can edit existing ones or delete it. So we could get rid of these as well. If you're like, I'm never going to use that one, I just want to get rid of it. And you can continue to add these. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, but I feel like this will be a benefit for virtually everyone since it has a lot more control than the emergency message and is even more visible. Thanks for watching.